electrifying quarterbacks in NFL history, now turned head coach here at Norfolk State University. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Michael Vick.
My God.
So good to see. I see why this was an easy decision for you with this crowd.
Man, Michael Vick, man.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It is game day. We're ready to go here at Norfolk State. Mike, so great to have you with us. This is a homecoming
But nevertheless,
for you. You grew up 30 miles from here. You took Vatech to a national championship. You leave broadcasting, and now you're head coach here at Norfolk State. Tell me what it means to you to coach in front of your community and be back home.
It means everything. And before I get into it, thank you all for sharing your platform with Norfolk State. That means the world to us. You know, and we want to just continue to enhance the brand, and this is part of it. But you know, just being from here, the 757. God giving me an opportunity to come back and grace this place with a platform, with my platform, being from here, it means so much to so many of us, and I just look at it as an opportunity to come back, pour into the community, pour into these young men and women, and just try to be here to serve. And so I'm thankful for this opportunity. It wasn't the easiest decision to make, but I made it, and I made it wholeheartedly, and I'm so thankful because they made it worth it. They made it worth it so far.
So you're absolutely right, because not only after your football career, you were doing an exceptional job in television. Let me tell you that. Ultimately taking this challenge, talk about the influence the prime times of the world, the Eddie Georges of the world and others had on you ultimately making this decision.
Yeah, you gotta, I think in anything that you want to do in life, you always gotta have somebody that you model or try to pattern your game after, or you know, somebody you look up to. Following their footsteps, try to duplicate their plan, and this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for guys like Eddie George or Coach Prime. I don't think, you know, to happen so abruptly, and you know, for people to believe in you and give you the opportunity. I do feel like I'm sitting real low.
Yeah. I'm ready to cheer for you, buddy.
You can stand up. We'll get it right.
There you go.
But yeah, at the same time, they're role models, man, and they're role models to so many. And you know, I just spoke to Deshaun Jackson last night, and we was just talking
Delaware
about
State.
You know, the opportunities that we've been given and the platforms that we have now, and it's because other people paved the way for us. And so we're so thankful for that, man, and just humbly accept this opportunity, but ready to go get it, Cam, for real. You know, it is, man. Hey, you put this together, too.
I did it.
This
I
is
did
amazing.
it. Man, shout out to Marcus.
How long it take to put that together?
Man, it was effortless. This is just a Wednesday, which is a Thursday. You know, I don't know.
Absolutely.
But I'll say this, though, in all seriousness. In no blasphemic way, Mike Vick, you are a god to me.
You always told me that.
Listen. Growing up in Atlanta, Georgia, this person gave me hope. This person gave me an opportunity to dream, to think, to just say, hey, you know what, bro? I can play quarterback. Matter of fact, I can make it to the league. Matter of fact, I can change my whole family dynamic. So, for me, this shirt, this jersey, this opportunity means a little different, bro, because I know what you meant, not only to Cam Newton. There's no Cam Newton without Mike Vick. I know what you did for a whole city.
Yeah.
So even when I went to Charlotte, the stage was already set. I have to be, at minimum, what Michael Vick was to Atlanta. Thank you. Now
that you got that off your chest.
You know what I'm saying? I just had to pay my homage or homage.
But you always give me that same spiel, and it feels more passionate every time, and I feel it, Cam.
And I need my $1.15 that I spent my last $1.15. That was a week of lunch.
Yeah.
I spent it on a poster for a Michael Vick poster at a book fair. They still got book fair.
Don't worry, I'm going to triple that.
Say less.
Quadruple.
God is good. but talk to me about this, though.
Yeah.
When you're talking about this transition from college player, NFL player, transitioning into media, now transitioning into coaching, right? We've already seen the forefathers, obviously with, Coach Prime, Eddie George. What has that transition been like for you? How have you, had the schematics to say, this is how we're going to operate defensively, this is going to be my scheme, offensively, that's going to be my scheme, and how do you come up with these type of thought process in your position?
Well, a lot of people I talk to, because, when you step into a role that you've never been into before, it's the unknown. And so you kind of got to reach out to people and say, hey, here's, how should I do this? Or what's the best way to go about putting schedules together? And some things that you just don't know, you gotta get advice on. But the best piece of advice that I got from Prime was do it your way. Put your spin on it, make it what you want it to be. And so, I never dreamt of being a head coach.
Right.
I've only watched my head coaches and appreciated them and respected them so much that I was able to go back and draw on those experiences like right on the spot. And so still, it's a day-to-day process. I learn something new every day, but I also appreciate the process, and that's what we tell our guys, our young men, respect the process, appreciate it, and enjoy it.
Come on.
Can I ask you a question as a human being? What gave you the courage to pivot?
It was a tough pivot. Especially when you get comfortable in the role and you start feeling like, I'm starting to learn something different, especially things that you don't aspire to do in life. I always aspired to be a professional football player, and then all of a sudden it's this pivot, it's a turn, for the better. And so you learn how to do, operate in another environment, and then all of a sudden an opportunity presents itself. Something that I wanted to do down the road, the opportunity just came a little sooner than I thought, very abruptly, and I wasn't really prepared for it, but in my heart and in my mind, I was prepared for it. So, like I said, it was the unknown, and people sometimes you're afraid to step out there when you can't see what the end game is going to be.
That's right.
And that's a sacrifice, but I know at the end of the day, I can do whatever I put my mind to. And obviously, it was about surrounding myself with like-minded people who wanted the very best for Norfolk State, for themselves and their families, and for NSU football.
And the other thing is this power. The other thing to know is that there's power in regret. When you know that you didn't try, that you didn't go for it, that regret can be more painful than actually striving and failing. Yeah. Having said all of that, let's go back to you in this regard. At Virginia Tech, 22-2 in 2 seasons, went to a national championship game, 3rd in the Heisman Trophy voting. You accomplished great things in your collegiate career before you went to the NFL and took it by storm. I'm thinking about you playing in Philadelphia under Andy Reid. I'm thinking about you as an intern under Andy Reid. I'm thinking about the coaches that you've been blessed to be associated with and PWIs, predominantly white institutions. I'm quite sure the opportunities that are out there and stuff like that, a lot of folks would have liked to have had that. What made you think about an HBCU, and how has it touched you to be a part of an HBCU since you've been here?
Yeah, I understood the culture. I grew up watching Norfolk State. As a kid in Pop Warner, they brought us to Norfolk State games. And I just knew, in order to accomplish my dreams, I had to go in a different direction. But I always had respect for Norfolk State. I had eyes on them, just in case I had to have a fallback plan. But to get an opportunity to help these young men in this position now, understand what greatness looks like, understand what success looks like, understand what being men of character looks like, that means more to me than anything. And so we work on that every day. It's always something that we got to deal with, and being a head coach is definitely not easy, but at the same time, it's gratifying because every day I look forward to coming here. When you come to work every day looking forward to being there, you're going to put your all into it and you're going to get the most out of it. So, I appreciate that. Cam,
but I'll say
congratulations.
Appreciate it, though.
On everything.
I think the difference in being a coach from an impact player is you're able to make a play when there's not a play.
Right.
As a coach, you got to instill that in somebody
That's the
else.
toughest part.
And that's hard. Yeah. Another hard part about being a coach is recruiting.
Yeah.
How has that been when you say, hey, I'm head coach Mike Vick, and I want to recruit your son? What is your recruiting tactic?
Well, it was actually reversed. That's the easy part for me. I feel like recruiting, you just got to understand the player. You got to understand the young man and get to know him a little bit. I think that's going to be one of my strong suits as I get comfortable in this role. The hardest part is being a former player and not being able to go out there and perform it.
Damn.
You know, teach it and trust it. Trust that they know it and they're going to go out and do it, and that's what we monitor every day. But, man, it's times when I'm sitting back there watching our quarterbacks perform, watching them in practice, and I see something I would have did as opposed to they would have did what they did in the moment, and it's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult. So I tell them, look, I can't help y'all. I can't do this anymore. It's on y'all. And so what makes this so special is watching them grow, watching them get better, watching them make good decisions and feeling comfortable after they go back and watch practice saying, hey, coach, yeah, I got it, man.
I know we got to go real quick. One last question.
Yep.
People don't know this about you. They might not know this about you. You're a pretty nice guy. So my question to you is, are you a nice guy as a coach? I mean, do you know how?
It all depends.
I mean, do you know how to be mean if you got to be mean?
It all depends. You can ask my coaches; they'll tell you. You know, we done had our moments. I done had my moments with players, and I think it comes out at the right time.
Right.
You know, I try to be understanding. I try to look at every situation and try to just work through it. But you know, when it goes too far, when I feel like it's carrying over, then I got to step in and be here.
All right, we got to go. Yes or no question. You going to beat Deshaun Jackson? Delaware State? We'll leave you on that. Mike Vick, everybody.
Yes.
All right, you can't leave just yet because Stephen A's got an A-list, and we're going to